Hello, free enterprise fans, and welcome to the penultimate match of the uh, group play um, phase of the All Forked Up. Today's match is between Stoney of We Forked Up against Jazer of the Indigo Imps. And I'm super pumped to be here. This is going to be a great race. In the booth, there's me. I'm Scythe Marshall. With me is Scarcerer. Hello.
Hello.
And on tracking is Rexel. Thank you for your service. Going to keep us, keep us a little bit on track with things. And doing the restream is Glue. Thank you, Senior Glue. I don't know, Scarcerer. How excited are you for this match?
This is gonna be a good one. I see a Sid hero. I want to fight. I want a Thor hammer. Fire hammer is great. Fire hammer is the best Sid weapon. I want a Thor hammer. I like doing lightning damage.
And isn't Thor hammer back row? I think. I mean,
is it?
It'll be fine. But I mean, we always back row glitch Sid anyway. So
yeah, he gets back road.
So
he's usually back road. He usually starts back road.
Yeah, all those bows and arrows are good. All right, so we should probably do a little bit of scene setting. So this is the second last match before the bracket phase. We have the Indigo Imps for the team for whom Jazer is the ZZA player. They're at the top of the bracket or top of the standings. They've got the 1 seed locked up. Stoney's team, We Forked Up, is holding on to the 8th seed. So we don't. If Stoney wins, they're in. They're the last team in the bracket. If Stoney does not win, we have some shenanigans potentially happening with the match after this one, Narrowcad versus Pankraz. But for now, we've got Stoney versus Jazer, and it's going to be a good one. Both of these racers have done a lot of work. They're very strong. They make some fun plays. It's gonna be a good time.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward. I see Stoney's got a nice orange color to his menu. And the last time I saw somebody with an orange color with their menu, I predicted they were going to the ribbon room, and I was wrong. I hope I'm right this time. I want to see the ribbon room before we get the darkness crystal.
Yes, the 64th floor glitch would be really fun to see. I'm excited for that. We know we're not going to get the darkness crystal right off the bat because we have a starting spoon on this flag set. But we might find the magma key pretty quick. So looks like we are off. Let's go. Sid hero, great to see, but who do we have with Sid? Oh, that's a bard.
That's a disappointment.
Yeah, we cannot equip the spoon on this flag set, so rip.
Edward has his niche uses, and we wanted to really expound on that. Like, Spoonward kind of throws Edward into a niche he wasn't designed for. And we don't when we have Spoonward, we see less of those silly Edward ideas. Hiding Edward for Dark Waves and hiding Edward for Evil Wall.
And for Odin, too.
For Odin, yeah.
Yeah, so both of our runners go into Castle Eblin. Eblin has some pretty good loot, even on T Semi-Pro, one of the new fork flags. This is a setting between T Pro and T Wildish. Was that an Earth Hammer?
That was an Earth Hammer.
Pretty good. Jazer has found one of the monster boxes. Let's see. I think. So we are on. So the equipment flag for characters to start, the initial equipment flag is Sea Thrift. That was a flag I made, actually. But it gives...
Good flag, thank you.
Yeah, I know, right? I love this flag. Shout outs to Firebird Lover for...
There's a curse ring.
For having the... Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, so anchoring was already fine because of Sid, but now it's turbo fine. Like, no need to worry about potentially struggling to get RA1. All right, Stoney going back in. So is Jazer. So we'll see. Jazer's probably gonna be done after this. This side of the tower. Crystal Ring.
Oh, I love
And-
Crystal Ring. We've got
Go on.
We've got a 20-point range of agility for Sid right now. It's great.
All right, Stoney is done looting. I don't think they found quite everything, but they found at least a little bit. Going to Hobbs, gonna find a character there. We do have. Oh, here's Sea Thrift. We're looking at tier 3 or lower equipment. Not bad, honestly.
Yeah, back road with a magnet option. And either Stoney's feet is frozen or he's taking a long time to think about this equipment choice.
I don't know. There's no choice for Dragoon versus Silver, so I think probably a little bit frozen. Hopefully we can get Stoney back. But yeah, so Sea Thrift gives you equipment in each of your normal equipment slots up to the tier specified. So here it's up to tier 3. We didn't get to see Edward's equipment, so we'll see what he ended up with. He could start with a dancing dagger. That's not bad.
Yeah, it looks like Stoney's stream just is down at the moment.
All right, Jazer choosing to not even bother equipping Edward. Edward, not important. We do have the tweak. Oh, that's a dwarf axe. There's the free back row glitch for Sid and Kane if we find Kane. So for Edward, one of his niche things is also we have the tweak Edward heal flag. So normally Edward can throw a cure 1 potion across the entire party and heal for like single digits. But with this flag, he'll throw the best of cure 2s, like cure 1, cure 2, cure 3. And so potentially Edward can be a serviceable early game healer.
Yeah, across a full party, your cure 3 will split for like 300 to 400, and it's I've pressed the button this tournament. It's not inconsequential. It's just very niche, and I think that's what Edward did. He's a little pile of niches, and adamant rock for free. We're halfway there. I guess we're a third of the way there. We just need forge and underground access to finish the game.
Yep, because the 64 floor glitch can get us to the ribbon room, but it can also get us straight to Zeromus. So we do need a way to get some levels, but technically with Edward.
With the star, oh yeah, with technically with Edward, I don't think our runners are gonna do Edward strats tonight. I don't know if anybody active in the community both knows and is willing to do Edward strats. Okay, we're finally gonna get to see who is on Hobbs.
As Elvin might say, show me potato salad. Now let's go Rosa. Rosa? That's Iridia. Not bad. We don't hate Iridia.
Yeah, Iridia, with Sid, Iridia keeps up, and if we get Bahamut either in our juicy loot or in the dwarf castle, very nice.
Oh, very good Blizzard usage. This will get Jazer through most of the fight pretty quickly. We didn't get any big summons in Castle Eblin, right? No summon orbs?
No, just an Odin orb, which is not a big summon, I would say.
No,
it's got application, but if it were more accurate, it'd be great. But that base 0 accuracy and a 50% chance to fail, even if it would have succeeded, is it's pretty abysmal.
Yeah, pretty not great. I've used it to do dark imps at Leviathan. Uh, I don't know. Let's go with niche. Jazer electing not to check on the Hobbs summon for Rydia. Um, feels like it's probably more beneficial to just beeline Fabul, take the fight, take the check, because Sid's got this. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah, Sid heroes tend to equate to Sid early games.
Ooh, Sid does not got this. Nope.
Oh no. So I haven't memorized the chart yet. What's she looking like here now?
Pretty awful. Actually, so, okay. I want to see Sid do another round of damage because it's possible. Okay.
Okay, you can get through.
Hear me out. Hear me out. So, uh, in normal free enterprise, this spot for Valvalis, awful. Absolutely garbage because the scaling just ramps up her evasion to where an early game party just can't hit through the evade multipliers. However, this is not vanilla free enterprise. This is Gale's Fork, which implements a change to the scaling stats or the scaled stat changes for bosses. And what happened is because in vanilla free enterprise, vanilla Valvalis is bugged and does not scale her evasion correctly. Like Val gets 0 evade in the tornado form, but here Valvalis gets now the evasion change is scaled to level, and because Zot 2 has a level that's higher than the Fabul gauntlet, like average leader level, her evasion gets scaled down, and so Valvalis here is actually hittable. I am concerned about Jazer's inability to swing with Sid anymore, though. Yeah, that was bad. There was a chance, but Sid low rolled a couple times because the Earth Hammer just doesn't have not max accuracy. Yeah. Did you catch when Jazer went into that fight? Was that about like 8 minutes?
Oh, he was probably like a 2-minute wipe. But yeah, it's not the maybe a little longer than that. It didn't. I did not catch it. No.
That's fair. So that, that's something where if you know you could take the fight, you take it. And if you're unsure, then it's a little bit of a gamble. You have to make a snap decision. It costs Jazer a little bit, but potentially maybe Fabul was useless. And so go into ordeals, gonna fight some bosses, get some more XP, and hopefully get a good key item check here. Okay, chat's saying that it was less than 2 minutes, so that's it's not. I have lost more time doing worse checks. So all right, we got Odin. The spot pretty free.
Yeah, the lowest attack power in the game. It's pretty much free.
And starting with 10 Thor Rages and having already seen Kainatsu, you just throw them all. There's Warp on Rydia. I always like that spell. It just makes getting out of certain places really nice. We may not get another Warp caster, so might keep Rydia around. Okay, another freebie boss. I think Jazer. I forget if Jazer still has.
He still has a blizzard.
Yeah, okay. And this is free.
Does the Earthhammer Quake not clear this? Is not consistent?
I don't think. I think it's a little too. Like it might be 2 Earth Hammers. I think the soldiers have more than like 200, 300 HP.
All right. I don't think it was necessary to run all the way back and save here, unless it's exactly Wyvern.
So it is Witchburn.
Yeah.
I think Golbez is not really a threat here either. Just slow.
No,
And
Golbez
Earthhammer
is-
does fire damage,
yeah.
so it's Civid one shot. Oh, never mind. It's karate.
Oh, hey,
We have
Stoney's
Stoney back up. Hey.
and it's the hook.
All right. So looking at Stoney's well, we'll see. We'll see if our tracker Rexel can investigate what other key items Stoney might have. It's possible that they've gone to, maybe they got through Fabul. Unsure.
Yeah, they've marked the adamant. I don't see any other key items on their tracker.
So our runners have done both of the same checks probably at this point.
Yeah.
Which means it's probable that Jazer's wipe to Valvalis at Fabul was matched by Stoney, potentially with a slightly different timing. All right, where are we going now? What do you think?
I mean, Baron Inn. There's Baron Inn.
Yes, there aren't many other options.
There aren't many other options. You could if you're doing the super counterplay game. I love checking my Cydia in this flag set, because once you get the darkness crystal, you don't want to launch the whale until you're actually ready to go to the moon, because of how it warps the 64 floor setup. You can set it up, it's just so much more annoying with the whale.
Yeah, the whale's coordinates and where it is and everything play a pretty big role in
there's just
getting through the floors.
Yeah, it's whack. We don't deal with it.
So both of our runners have found life potions in, I think, different shops. Oh, guess what? There we go. Heroines in my Cydia.
I love S Wildish. It's a lot of like the T Semi Pro S Wildish combo leaves you're constantly broken. Oh, it's the guy.
And they both done ordeals, so you know what they're gonna do.
We're going to Eblin.
Going back to Edblin, yeah. Mylon Zed here, absolutely free. Sid bonks with the Earth Hammer and the fight's over. We'll see what the second spot is. It could be slightly problematic.
No, it's Mylon and friends.
No.
It's always amusing when both Mylons appear in the same spot.
Okay, and I think Sid's practically invincible. Edward and Rydia, unlikely, but Sid is invincible here.
Stoney has Ashura that Jazer doesn't. Maybe that was our Hobbs summon, and that explains some sinkage.
Oh, potentially, yeah. That's not bad. Like Ashura for Rydia is like 2/3 of the time she does a good job healing, and the other third of the time you have to try again. Right now might not be super useful because of Rydia's MP pool, but later.
Rydia has an MP pool?
Actually, she has tons of MP. It just she starts at level 1, so
yeah, she doesn't get didn't get anything till later. Once you're rolling with levels, I never check it until I'm using 4/10 at the bottom of the moon. But Luca key from Baronin.
Aha.
Okay.
So this is interesting. Unlikely that we'll use the 64 floor glitch to get to Seal Cave now.
Yeah, it is.
Just walk down.
Yeah, the walk down is faster. Depends on the whether or not it's actually faster. Depends on the boss.
True.
If it's a bot and that really is a matter of your power when you decide to do it. You could still do there are situations where you can reasonably justify going to doing the sealed cave warp with the Luca key in hand. With a Cecil, we might not run into that situation.
Yeah, Cecil didn't start with much in the way of good gear, but you know what? It's Cecil, so who cares? He'll be fine. Might not be very fast with the Dorfax on, but he'll be fine.
He doesn't need to be fast for the moment. He's level 1. What's he gonna do? We don't have a huge stick yet. It's just
So I think it would be really interesting. Jazer did not check. Okay. No, there are no. It is no damage items. So we can't find things like blizzards in here. That would have been nice, but oh well.
Yeah, no damage items, no vampires. It was an idea to make 1200 strats less appealing.
Good choice, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't, and that I think comes down a little bit to just preferences on the team. The folks testing the flag sets didn't want to do 1200 strats, and we took precaution.
All right, I like the silk web. That this is an inspired choice. Should pretty much make this much more doable, especially with a second target or a fourth target now, so that you're not getting Sid raid every turn. Already 800 damage in, so this should be okay for Jazer this time. We'll see about Stoney. Chat's complaining about Stoney's screen color. That's preset for the 64 floor glitch, I think.
Yeah, that is in industry terms a you problem. We can't do anything about that. It would be if setting your screen color to something bearable was a requirement for restream, a bunch of ZCA runners would have just opted out.
Yep, understandable. But also, that's not even the worst thing I've seen. I've seen many worse screen colors.
Like the Zeromus screen color.
Oh no! At least you can change it back for the fight.
You change it back for the fight, but when you go into when you finish the fight for your spoiler log,
does it break?
It goes back to what you warped, what you have saved. So if you set your screen color, then save, then warp to Zeromus, and then change it back so you can actually read your menu during the fight, your spoiler log shows that bright neon green.
Wow. I mean, yeah, okay, all right, yeah. Checks out. Okay, so I'm mildly concerned about Stoney. I think Sid has low rolled a couple times. Meanwhile, the reward for this spot was the package. It's a Duperidia. Goodbye. See you, Miss Cave or Mist Village. I might check Miss Cave. Decide not
Miss
to.
Cave.
Stoney through Val. Clutch fight.
Yeah, this is that package that Jazer just checked, right?
Yep. All All right, Jazer looking to launch the hovercraft. We've done pretty much everything on the overworld. Gonna check the hook route. Probably, I think, except for a really funky D-mist, I think we're on a hook route seed, huh?
Yes. And with, Cecil in hand and probably the ability to clear Eblin monster boxes. I don't know what the clear is looking like, but we can get through this, right?
I think so. Stoney has decided to, while near Damson, check the waterfall boss. That's a sparkle. Peace out. We'll see if after raising the hovercraft, Stoney goes to Mist Cave. Okay, Stillman Skulls. I think it's just slow.
Yeah, it's slow. This is doable. This is what you wanted to see first. Maybe you wanted to see. But here's where that Odin orb niche comes in handy. You kind of wanted to see one of the other two, because Odin? You can Odin this box, right? You can Odin all 3 boxes.
I think so. That we don't have any wisdom boosting on Rydia, so at 250, I think
she's got wisdom boosting. She's got Rune Ring, Black Shirt, Charm Rod.
Oh, I didn't see the Charm Rod pickup. Yeah,
nice. Charm Rod was picked up on Ordeals there. Also,
very cool.
Stoney doing neither of the things I thought they would do. Going into like skipping Mist, skipping Eblin Castle.
I guess you could get a 5th party member. It looks like they're going straight down to check the character, not even gonna loot anymore, and then maybe loot back up. I can't imagine skipping Castle Upland entirely. In terms of monster boxes. Ooh,
yeah,
Sleep on Cecil.
Sleep on Cecil. This is it's all ogre.
Okay. Oh no. No. Dislike. Strong dislike.
Dislike what?
Tella?
Boo. No. Tella gives us exit without having to worry about our levels.
Cecil.
They levels. If Stoney's thinking about just gunning this hook route, which he absolutely should not, go to Eblin, please.
Fair. Stardust Rod for Rydia. She's already best in slot wisdom. And level 19. Okay. Oh, true. Yeah, I need Tiara over Gaia. But okay. Odin probably really good. That Ogre Axe for Stoney in the vanilla Staleman's Miab box, that's pretty good. Very convenient. And okay, you're right. Tella's a good character. And then on this flag set, because Darkness is a little bit of just a suggestion sometimes, it'll be okay.
Yeah, Tella's weak spell is really great, but not for D Machine. This is not a D Machine flag set because of that nifty max level bonus you coded up.
Yeah.
We just go do a pack of Gold Dragons. Or King Ryu's. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll talk about the precise experience boost when we get there.
It's a little bit of math. I don't do the math. I don't do that math on the fly. I just, when I'm playing this flag, it's just, okay, how are we doing Gold Dragons? Oh, Excalibur. Okay.
There's the consolation prize sword for Cecil. I don't think you ever hate.
It's literally the second best sword in the game, or it's the second best sword without smiths involved.
Yeah, but the crystal sword, you could tell the damage increase.
Oh yeah, there's such a gulf between them. It's 30 attack power and 5 strength. Bahamut for sale.
Yeah,
you got a second curse ring.
Didn't see that one. Yep. I guess we go Bahamut, and then Jazer's gonna dive the hook route. I don't see a reason why not.
Yeah. See, the price change on the cursed ring is such a weird, like it makes it a little bit of a weird item to be available to loot, because you just sell it, and like it's the most expensive tier 4 item by far, and it really shouldn't be tier 4 anymore.
Yeah, but it's also like there has been discussion about like what tier should it be? Should it go higher
7.
tier? Should it be more expensive? It's a tough sell, I think. However, in the fork world, we could probably just code up T no cursed. We could do that.
Yeah. or a flag to specify what tier the cursed ring gets placed at. But that would probably
that'd
be a
be
lot
funky.
more work.
That'd be
It'd be
funky.
funky. But like, if you have a flag set like this, where the curse ring is very warping because you're on Sea Hero and it's either essential to your kit or 33,000 in your pocket, it can be very make or break. And I would, like, if I had the option to put it at tier 7 for this, I would have.
Tier 7 curse string, get it from the pink tail turn in. Oh, that's a key item check on this flag set. Never mind.
It is a key item check on this flag set. I don't know if the semi-pro gated quest curve can award a tier 7 item. I'm pretty sure it can. It's just not as often. I do love a grimoire.
Grimoires are so good, like 2 out of 10 times. But I think this was the it's the Stardust.
This was the Stardust. I think there was more for this chest in particular. There was more than 2 good ones, and Ifrit here would have cleared the
everything but the
skulls,
Stillman.
Yeah, and then you have an Ogre, and then Stoney had an Ogreax specifically. Shiva would have chipped. Shiva would have been whatever. I think Mist doesn't do holy damage in this. I don't know. And I didn't see
no, but Mist does HP based damage, so it cuts the MDef of the Stillman. Anyway, Jazer's going into the hook route. Looks like throwing a curse ring on Sid. Sid's anchor only now. Cecil is super buffed. Okay, I think that was the Excal chest for Stoney. So about to be Excal parody. Yeah. Let's see.
Excal parody, and I saw a Dragoon hat go on to Sid. If this says Rubicant for the hook boss, I really like that. Being able to absorb that glare means that there's somebody who will always be around to chuck a life potion where you need it. How many turns he's gonna get is another question entirely. But
I mean, Sid's the anchor, so gets a turn every 5 ticks, so he'll be fine, probably, mostly. By the way, Stoney used Tele to cast Stone from the center slot. Good strategy there, because you get the accuracy bonus. Also had some wisdom boosting, so Tele's not guaranteed to land Stone, but can do a pretty good job.
You are never guaranteed to land Stone. Its accuracy caps out at like 99%.
Okay. All right. That's what I think.
That's an actually. We've looked at that, and it's come up, and I saw somebody do the actually bit with it, and it was the one time that bit was funny.
All right, this is Bahamut. This will soon not be Bahamut. A very easy fight. I mean, okay, I guess you could cast Bahamut. It would have been faster to just cast Bahamut or just cast Berserk. Though, I don't know. There's still like a 20-second fight, so we'll take it.
Yeah.
Jazer going straight into the fight. Is it Rubicant or Elements?
If it was Tele shouldn't have been off Attila shouldn't have been center slot here, so that somebody else could go first, throw up a veil so you could bounce a fire 3 onto him. Probably not as fast, probably not faster, but something
So
I particularly enjoy doing.
So, fun fact about elements: elements resist holy damage, and so Cecil, Zerking, whatever. Okay, Bahamut into Ice 3, that should be okay. I think as long as Cecil doesn't push, this should be...
No, Cecil doesn't push. It's like 12k, 12 and a half, 12k for... Oh, he did
no!
push. This is an issue.
Yeah, and Elements got the resistance change, so that's going to heal for, yeah. I mean, hadn't done any damage to the new form, so...
Oh yeah, the new form is a new monster, right?
Yes. Gets... Like, and it actually loads in with no resistances, and then changes resistance. Of course, Val form is weak to Holy, so Bahamut into Excal just ends the fight. Stoney looting the upper Babel boxes. I don't think we... Did we see the 4 Mad Ogre's chest?
I don't think so. With a crystal, with an Excal in hand, it's kind of greedy to keep going for the crystal sword. Though the odds that it's, conversely just some strength boosting gear would be the worst idea.
So, was the top of tower boss Ashura? Is that what I saw?
I missed it because I was wondering how this Mad Ogre was going to go.
Fair enough. Well, it's going to turn 4 Mad Ogres into statues, hopefully. Poor Edward.
Edward will get some love next tournament. Maybe.
We'll see. Anyway, Jazer is now in the underground about 34 plus minutes in. That was just a charm rod, I guess, for Stoney. Jazer going straight to Fame March. K-Summon is not on these flags, and so this is just the freebie and some shop checks down here. Potentially the demist check.
Yeah, you should peek for demist here. But I have no idea if either of these runners is going to peek it, because Jazer didn't peek Waterfall or Mist Cave from what I saw, and unless Stoney peeked Mist Cave early, hasn't peeked Mist Cave.
That's the pan. All right. That opens up a couple more freebie checks.
The pan is my favorite freebie reward. It's... Hourglasses are very nice. That's Gold Dragons in a nutshell.
Yup. So I guess we haven't found we started with 2 sirens. So like you could
2 sirens, high roll. That's our grinds. We're ready. We just need to
rest. Like
we can warp to the LST, and you can warp to B4 once you've got your crystal.
Yeah, fun. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Do you warp to B4 or do you warp
probably
to, like,
B6? You warp to whichever. No, you warp. Depends if you're doing it before you have the crystal in hand or not. If you have the crystal in hand, you actually could just warp to the dais and then walk down, depending on your hope for a slightly better party member than Edward. Then walk down.
Yeah, fair.
I don't know if anybody has practiced that particular, has that particular warp in their notes. Okay, Rydia.
Good job, Rydia. So this spot doesn't have very much. I think this spot has 0 spell power. Yeah. So it's 1 roll. And Rydia, with a whole bunch of wisdom boosting, has like probably 2 or 3 magic evade rolls at this point.
Oh, Excalibur from the Pam Bonk. They didn't need to do Evelyn at all.
Oh no. Well, they both did. So it's even.
Both did, so neither is actually losing time for it. But no, that Excalibur saved time on the hook route. Maybe, probably. Oh, but there was Bahamut. Oh, there's so much thinking that goes into this.
Yeah, one thing I'm concerned about is I don't think Stoney found the Bahamut orb, or like didn't buy it.
I don't think Stoney about it. No. So
this is elements for
but his
Stoney.
agility was weird. He could have thrown up a veil. Oh, he doesn't know about the Fire 3.
Actually, yeah, because Cecil could just cover strats here. Elects to Zerk Cecil. Okay, so Stoney's about to lose a bunch of time here. This is unfortunate, but should get through the fight probably. I think Cecil has Dragoon armor, so like not gonna take a ton of damage, hopefully.
Yeah, this isn't a concern. It's just he'll get through. It'll just be slow. I wonder if this pushes like it did for oh, never mind.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, this glare might be a wipe.
Oh no. So I think there's our big divergence of the seed. Like having bought the Bahamut orb and set up agility, Jazer made that fight very easy and very safe. Even though they chose to Zerk Cecil. In this scenario, for Stoney, I think the reflex strats are the best choice, but we'll see if they elect to do them. Meanwhile, we should mention Sheila 1 was a Sammy bow, lol. Sheila 2 was the tower key. But Jazer electing to go to Dwarf Castle, gonna fight the bosses
outright. First. Okay.
Technically,
I do wonder where Jazer's current menu color takes you. Probably nowhere.
Probably. But also, you can change your menu color up until a certain floor in the chain. So, like, it's not a huge deal.
Up until the last floor.
Because that's the floor that tells you where you're going, yes.
Yeah, you might have to turn your music off before that.
That feels correct. Okay, so Stoney went back, saved, and is setting up his party a little bit differently, going for a Cursed Anchor Sid. Jazer in the Kalbrenna spot fight. Bahamut cleans up. We're done. Rydia's a good character, folks. Also, so micro optimization. If you do the Dwarf Castle bosses first, I guess you can't save if you choose to do the 64 floor glitch afterwards. Okay. Bye, Edward. Gonna replace you with the better Edward.
Yeah. Oh, there's a Fire 3. It's direct, but it'll Fire 3 into Ice 3 with cover. Probably gets us through.
Tella needs to be healed because Ruby's gonna
Ruby's
multi-target.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is different. That Fire 3 did a lot. Sid is invincible. And they pushed. Okay, so I think Stoney should be good now. It might take a
Because
little bit
this
of recovering, but it
is
should work.
what, a punch into big wave?
I think it's a couple punches into big wave. Whoa. Beefy cure forecast. Let's go, Tella.
Biggest cured forecast I've seen from him in several years.
I think it should be one more hit from Cecil, and then we go into Val. Okay, 2 more hits. All right, so Stoney's through now. Just apples and veils in the dwarf shop. Jazer's going to go to the other side and then see what else is going on. A third siren. Nice.
Show me parachute. Just start a Strahd. We already have one of those, unfortunately.
How does protect ring sound? No.
Protect ring is unfortunately 3/7 of the cost of a power shirt. And Jazer doing more shopping. I'm really thinking there's a power shirt on the menu here. Or a wish for a power shirt to be on the menu. I don't know what the odds of it look like.
Okay. Decided that he wants something in the shop.
Samura.
Yeah. And a mute dagger for that Ashura at the top of tower. They're okay. They're the sirens. We've figured out how to win the seed, modulo the legend sword.
Yep. I think Jazer's gonna go for gonna search out the darkness.
Fair. Not a big 64 floor glitch person.
Well, yeah, he's messed up his airships. He went back.
Oh, you're right.
I guess not messed up. If it's not messing it up, if you don't care to do the thing in the first place.
True, but the airship placement matters for the floors that you end up on. So if you happen to put your airships in places that don't work out, you end up stuck in a wall. So instead, Jazer's just going to go up lower Babel. We know Ashura is at the top, so that edge is gonna chew through that boss. We also have the tower key, so two pretty quick checks here. Just have to walk up.
Yeah,
it's a little slow.
It's a matter of what chaining items are left. This could be the start of 2 very long chains, one of which could culminate in the Sand Ruby and the other in darkness. Now, if one of this I mean, this was a good setup for 64 floor JR Tate. You have an exit caster when you got underground. 7 sirens is a very nice number of sirens to have, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, 7 sirens, pretty good. It would get you, I think, all of your grind. Oh, was that Leviathan? Goodbye, Fey Merch. Don't want to see those bosses again. Vanilla Leviathan is actually pretty easy, but it takes Leviathan off the table. And Golbez in the Ashura spot, 1 takes Golbez off the table, and 2, that spot's very funny. Just tons of magic power. And so you just throw up a Star Veil, and usually you win pretty quickly if you survive the shadow phase. How many Cure 4s do you think Ashura is going to get here?
An inconsequential number, because I think we're going to push over 16k before we see a Cure 4. And it looks like she's Cure 3 locked anyway. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, you're right. Nice. And it's this spot, so Cure 3 went for 354 damage, or healing. I think this Bahamut hits max damage. Almost. Okay, one of... So about that power shirt you wanted.
It was on the menu. I just didn't read the menu very well.
It was the small print. You can order it, but you have to go all the way up to the top of Lower Babel to get it.
Ooh, this is from Stoney's standpoint, selling that Excal was probably a great idea. But it robs him of a dart if he does he probably gets more out of the extra sirens than darting an Excal. It's probably fine. And power shirt, I knew it. Or for sale.
All right, don't have to sit through a bunch of punches on Jazer's side. Virus should take out, yeah, those. I think the back dolls have like 60 HP in this spot. Stoney healing in the Dwarf Castle basement. I wonder what their plan is.
Probably Dwarf Castle if we're healing here.
So interesting, choosing Dwarf Castle, 64 floor glitch, question mark?
Maybe. We see he's parked in the right spot.
No, bosses first.
Bosses first? That's probably fair.
So Jazer's getting a whole lot of value out of this Bahamut summon. So this fight's going to be a little bit more obnoxious for Stoney, even with Power Shirt Excal Cecil.
Yeah, he's getting so much value out of Bahamut that I forgot the Mage's Sisters were here.
No, they weren't on screen very long. Well, Mindy was also not on screen very long. Okay, so Jazer's getting the Super Cannon item now. It is a full moon. Okay, so Lower Babel was very useless. And Jazer going to Seal Cave because I think that's what we got left.
Yeah, that's the only logical check remaining.
Modulo Demist, which we haven't found.
Yeah, could be Vanilla Demist and Mist Cave. Starting a Darkness Crystal.
Also, I guess because it matters, one of Jazer's teammates mentioning that Jazer's not confirming Jazer's not a big 64 floor glitch person. So would use it if it was the right choice at that time ish.
Which sounds like he's just keeping it in his back pocket for the Zeromus warp for Jets.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Like you can do a lot with it, but it takes some time to set up and it's high risk. So
yeah, when you get the execution of the glitch down pat, the inputs aren't time sensitive. I know there's a lot of time sensitivity in the way it's executed for the vanilla speedrun, but the only spot where you have to worry about a time spent in a menu is the sealed cave warp. And with Luke Key in hand, this C didn't need the sealed cave warp.
Good to know. Definitely, I've read up on the vanilla speedrun a little bit, but I learned the information about the glitch as it pertains to free enterprise. The stuff that goes well.
Womp womp.
Wamp, wamp. All right, Vanilla Darkness. Okay. Have fun. Guess we're going to the moon. Potentially. We'll see. We'll see what this boss is. Okay, that was boring. All right. Okay, so where does Stoney go? Stoney is going.
Turn in the pan.
Did Stoney do the Sylph Cave?
I don't know, but that's the only thing to come up for right now. Oh, and that. Oh, Stoney was not set up for a 64 floor glitch. That's completely the wrong spot for the Enterprise.
Oh no.
Well, you didn't do it, so it's not biting.
Okay, I guess Stoney must have gone to. I guess must have gone to Sylph Cave. Otherwise, why go back to Fabul? Unless he. Hold on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the package. He did it.
Yeah. Fair enough. It's not gonna be very well. I think the tower key might send Stoney down that rabbit hole to Lower Babel, which further detracts away from the place we know is the correct option, which is Seal Cave. Antline, by the way, not as strong as Excalcecil.
Nope. Excalcecil plus Bahamut clears the game. It's very few things that you can't clear with it. And one of those things that you nominally can't clear with Bahamut, float solves.
All right, full moon, middle sword. Okay, you don't like the middle sword. I'd probably just leave the mute dagger on, but full moon's nice. Jazer raising the whale, gonna go to the moon. Maybe. So we could do a very quick rundown of where Demas could be. Any of the moon spots, giant. It could be the package boss, which is very silly.
The package boss.
No. It's the boss. Demas could just be the boss.
It can't be.
Why not? Oh, is it because we've restricted? Oh, and it can't be giant then, right?
It can't be giant.
Aha! So this is a flag I did not code. Gale Swift coded this one.
I thought it was Escron. Let me just. Well, if Escron coded it, it'll be on his fork. So I'm just gonna pull up his fork real quick.
Aha! Yes. While Scar does that research, let's see what our runners do. Jazer's going shopping. So here's a look at the moon shop. Eswaldish moon shop is the same as any of the other gated shops, so it could be up to tier 6. Get some really good stuff. Gold apples, Ashura, exits. Oh, we already. But Jazer elects to buy a couple succubus. Makes sense. MP. I don't know if Jazer's found tents.
MP is a struggle.
Yeah, I don't think Jazer's found tents or cabins. So like that might be use Cecil or Tella as an MP battery.
Or Edge. Edge has enough MP to cast one Bahamut.
True.
Yeah, so unless there's been some cross-merging going on, I believe B Restrict is a flag that was coded by Esgrunt, as it is
thank you.
his fork at grunthack.org/make.
Perfect, thank you. I'm going to go change my documentation.
Yeah, he also coded the, I believe, the T Semi-Pro and S Wildish that we're using.
No, S Wildish. Oh, okay. Esgrunt coded S Wildish. S. Wildish was a design choice by me and Xenocat.
Okay.
That was a long time ago.
I have been attributing the idea to the person who does the final step of coding it, because that's the hardest part from my perspective.
Yeah, very fair.
I could sit and come up with flags all day, but you ask me to implement it, and I'm lost. I know neither assembly nor Python.
Yeah, it took a little bit of work getting used to it. I also knew neither assembly nor Python before I started working on the forks, so it was a learning curve. All right, so I did not see if Jazer took the Palom. Looks like no. Jazer is taking some gold dragon. So here's why you buy the hourglasses.
Yeah, here's why you buy the hourglasses.
All right, Tella is in cover strats range now. I would probably put Tella in the middle, but whatever, it's fine. Gonna get a couple life glitches. Okay, so XP max level bonus. What happens? So the highest level in Jazer's party is probably around level 30-ish right now. King Ryu's are level 96 or so, 99. I think it's
96. It's 96, 97,
I think it's
96.
So you double the level.
97.
So you double your maximum character, like maximum party level in the party, and then look at how the difference between that level, that new double level, and the lowest level in on the monster side, and every gap of 5 or increment of 5 levels that you're under, so like you're under leveled compared to the monsters, you get 20% bonus XP. So I think 198k was like over, I think that was like 100, no, that was like 120% XP bonus.
Yeah, King Ryu gives 30k, so that was with a life glitch 90k
with life
base.
glitch 90k.
You said 192,000?
Or 98.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was 120% boost. Yeah, that was pretty big.
Yeah, so that's the benefit of going to the moon pretty early is your lower levels, so you get a really big XP boost. And if you pair that with a slingshot or something, you can buff your characters pretty quickly.
Yeah, so I know it's never going to happen in tournament, or am I actually? If somebody does it in tournament, it'll probably be me. But Jazer was really well set up for triple red dragon here, and that would have slung Palom to nuke.
Oh, that would have been so cool. That would have been so cool. So, yeah, okay. Let's circle back to that. Jazer found demist. We should probably talk about that. This is the Mura altar spot. Do you think Jazer, because it's the top of the moon, do you think Jazer's gonna leave and like save scum the demist check?
Whether or not he actually does it, he should do it because it is the top of the moon. It turns your 1 check into 2 checks. It doesn't take that long, because there's no fight in between.
And Rexel pointing out, Edge did throw the spoon, so we have Chuck the spoon. We saved it for demist. Makes sense. We were chatting about that before the race.
Yeah, and still getting some significant bonus here from the Mura altar because we didn't do a full grind. Just a white shirt. I say just. White shirts are great.
White shirt's pretty good. Narrowcad also bringing up the fact that you probably still need some XP because Rydia just threw 2 Bahamets and telecast some spells. So being able to save, check demist, and if it's nothing, come back, take the whale or cabin or whatever, and then go down to the bottom of the moon seems pretty good to me. All right, Stoney has identified the correct path. Is going down to Seal Cave. Unfortunately, still is trailing behind Jazer a little bit. If there is divergence on the moon, then we could see a really fun finish.
Yeah, you'd have to do a very hefty bottom-up moon, especially if this pays out a gating item right here, rat
Oh, it
tail. Yeah, that's
did.
free. It could pay out another gating item still, but it's a matter of the depth of this chain. Like this chain, for Stoney to make the comeback, this chain has to be really deep and pay out a Zonk or the Sand Ruby.
And Stoney would need to skip the chain and go bottom up.
Yeah.
All right, and there's the whale, rest, presumably going to check rat tail before going back to the moon. Yeah, here's the save scum of the rat tail check.
Yeah, the rat tail put him at 9. So as far as cleaning up the rest of the XP. Oh, he had the hovercraft in place. He could have brought the whale over.
Ooh, the pass.
Pass. We like that.
I think Jazer also likes that because that ends the chain. Jazer knows the way to the Legend Sword is on the moon now.
This could be an interesting point to do 64 floor from, especially with the length of that hook route. And I don't know if Stoney is a racer that does homework on their opponents. I'm hoping that they have, and thus knows that there isn't a 64 glitch done from Jazer's side.
Are you thinking Cave Magnus?
I don't think you can warp to Magnus. I'm thinking
Yeah, you
it's
can. You
still
can.
you can.
Yes.
I
I
don't.
don't know if Sony's got the airships in place for that, but you can.
I have not seen the Magnus. I don't even know the setup for the Magnus warp.
Pretty sure
I was just thinking about the ribbon room because
to
if
skip the
ribbon
boss.
skip the boss, and you're going out on a limb and gambling here, but with a hook route wipe, especially kind of a lengthy one like Stoney had, you kind of want to do that. His airships aren't set up for it, but if he goes back and sets up his airships for it, for Stoney, this is a good position to do 64 floor from.
Oh, because Stoney hadn't set up. He hadn't raised the whale.
He hadn't raised the whale. He knows everything's on the moon. And if he had looked into his opponent's race history, he would know that his opponent doesn't do the glitch, and thus he gets to skip the ribbon room fight.
Yeah, that would have been the meta play. Unfortunately, Stoney did not make the meta play. Just raising the whale, gonna go to the moon the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, it's really hard to pull the trigger on meta plays like that because you have to assess a skill difference between you and opponent, or assess a time difference between your opponent, and say that the thing you're going to do is make up, and be confident that the thing you're going to do will make up for that. And the last thing you have after a wipe is confidence.
Yeah, it's a really tough scenario. I definitely have been sort of in that spot, and generally it does not I don't make safe plays in the sense of I don't play like Dusty Griff used to play and do the same thing every time. But making a meta play like that is a little bit beyond even my my comfort level.
Yeah,
chat,
it's
go on.
So chat mentioned that he's not comfy with the hook route 64, which is unfortunate because it isn't that much more complicated. You park the Enterprise in that southwest corner, That's sort of that short path, and there's a couple of weird transitions, but it's all documented in. I think they changed the name of the channel, but the channel that used to be Tech Talk and the Discord. There's this really nice long thread of Plumeria giving us like the cliff notes of G64, and then a bunch of folks in the community going back and expanding on that with their own experiences.
I think the channel is now In-Depth Mechanics.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the Luge spot. Was it... I don't remember which of the fights it is. Did you catch it?
This is Plague.
White Spear Altar. Okay. Yeah, cast Bahamut. Probably going to cast Bahamut again.
Question from chat: what's the worst boss we can see here from Jazer? I'm going to say none of them, honestly. We have a lot of power. We have a lot of HP. We have anchoring. It doesn't matter.
I kind of agreed. I don't know. White Fern at Moss Altar, Gauntlet at Moss Altar.
It's vanilla Gauntlet.
That's vanilla Gauntlet. That's so. All right, Jazer's found the pink tail. That's a key item check.
That is a key item check. That puts him at 10.
Does Jazer leave?
He shouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. I think for sure do Ribbon Room next, and then potentially save Scum it. Depends what you find in the Ribbon Room.
With Rat Tail turned in, though, and all of the other gating items being superbly long.
So remember how you were saying that Stoney could have skipped that boss?
Dude. I would have... Why can't I get seats like these?
So CPU at the Ribbon Room spot is awful. We don't want to do it. It's just no. Stoney really thinking about taking Palom, elects not to in the end.
Yeah, I don't think either of these runners knows or cares about the triple red D.
Yeah. All right. So center slot Tella, as long as he does not fall over, he did not. Stone should probably. Yep. There we go. Okay. So Moss Altar is done.
Yeah, that's like a 90% stone at least. It's it's probably hitting.
There's the Legend Sword. Jazer is in go mode.
Jazer in go mode. How do Jazer? I mean, you're gonna get a big stick.
From what? Oh, from the Pinktail or from
Forge?
The Forge? Oh, from Forge. It's for Sid.
It's for
It
Sid,
could be the Gigantax.
It could be a Gigantax, which you then Zerg glitch off of Cecil and then onto Sid.
Actually, is the Gigantax even that much better than the Excal?
Slightly. If you're center slot, it is.
Yeah. Accuracy.
There's an accuracy difference, but it is. I think it's a Crystal Sword attack power and strength boost with less accuracy.
It's that strong. Wow.
Yeah, Gigantax is 200 power, 75 accuracy, plus 15 strength.
Wow, I did not realize it. I thought it was. I guess the Piggy Stick is Excal, like Excal power, not Crystal
Piggy
Sword
Stick.
power.
The Piggy Stick is less than Excal. Piggy Stick is 150.
Aw, boo. All right, this is a second, maybe third Bahamut for Stoney. Demas should be down pretty soon. Oh, Zeus
Zeus
gauntlet.
gloves for sale. Come on. Yes. Oh, I love the Zeus gauntlet. Legitimately my favorite item. There's the Gigant Axe.
Let's
So
go.
we've got Zerking going. Oh, and that frees up his Excal for a dart.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? Nice. Like
Yeah, and that
Mura.
should be, and at this stage that should be a 9k dart.
Yes. Uh, so that okay. Did I know one of our runners picked up a defense sword? I don't remember if it's been
Stoney has
thrown.
it. He hasn't thrown
Oh,
it yet.
okay. So for for Sid, do you keep him cursed for this fight, or do you like run natural agility? Maybe try and buff him to 28.
Yeah, I think you maybe try to buff him to 28 and run this at RA2. Just so you can have him actually do more damage with the Gigant Axe. Because you don't have a good white mage you don't have a great white mage.
No, you can say
Tella,
we don't have a good white mage. Rydia is cool, but I don't. Does Jazer's Rydia even
I
have
was not
Ajira?
even, no, I wasn't even thinking of Rydia. I was thinking of Tella.
Tell a Kikira 4 for like 800.
Tella could cure forward twice is the problem. And if your Zeromus fight devolves into power couple, you need more than 2 cure 4s.
This is true. All right, Jazer electing to do some eggs. We know there are
He should still
sirens
have
for
quite a few.
sale.
Yeah, he should still have quite a few from when he bought them, unless he
Oh, you're
turned
right.
around and
Yeah.
sold them.
No, I think you're right. We should have probably 6 more. Because I think Jazer only did one set of King Ryus up there, right?
Yeah, only one set of King Ryu. Yeah,
4
there's 4
more.
more. They just ended up in 2 separate stacks because the inventory in this game is as much of a mess it is as every other thing in this game. This is bona fide spaghetti.
Nice lip bolt drop. You always love seeing the siren drop from eggs. It's a good time.
Oh yeah, the siren freebies. They're pretty good.
Okay, so Stoney is through the Demist fight. Gets the white shirt. We'll see what the save scum choice is here. Also, while Jazer's grinding, I guess we could very briefly talk about the triple red dragons fight. On the 3rd floor of the 4 lunar core floors, like past like Masa Altar and later, there's a fight that's 3 red dragons. It's the single most XP in one fight in the game. You can do this fight very freely if you have AoE and cover strat Cecil with like a Dragoon shield or armor. It's completely free. It can be a little bit slow, but you can also manip for the fight. And those monsters are level 90. I think they're 99. And
Yeah, I read these are
so
99.
you get, 100+% bonus XP on the max level bonus flag, and you could sling Palm from base level to nuke. It's fun.
Yeah, you can sling him. I think you actually sling him a good bit past nuke.
You could probably sling Rydia to nuke, honestly.
You can. It's it's like it's a 700,000 XP fight.
Amazing.
Which, if that doesn't sling your Rydia to nuke, guess what? You're in a good position to just take another encounter down there, and that'll get you the rest of the way there. Or more reasonably, you're in an excellent position to go then clear the moon, and that gets you the rest of the way there.
Exactly.
Because, like, the sticking point on it for a lot of scenarios is you really want a Bahamut or Palm with Quake.
Yeah, and if you don't have either of those, it's kind of sketchy.
I think it's not viable if you don't have one of those two.
Ice 3. Ice 3 is the only other option. Anyway,
I
so
don't
we
think
should.
that takes too long.
Oh,
Ice 3 gets
Meteo.
split.
Meteo.
Medio with elixirs?
Yeah, of
Hold
course.
on, you're onto something.
And a Soma drop. Okay, so that was fun. We should probably talk about what's going on the screen on Jazer's side. We're about to enter the Zeromus fight. Scar, do the spiel. You got this.
Whose butt are we kicking tonight?
Perfect. All right. I think it's unlike in vanilla free enterprise. It's not guaranteed to be like Sephiroth is the highest percent. So we'll see what we get.
I'm pretty sure Adore, like just some variation of Adore, is the highest percent by far.
Yeah, probably. By the
I've seen
way,
at least 4 different doors, and they're all great.
so Crystal Sword Altar was DKC. That's gross.
That's nasty.
I don't. Yeah, Stoney can't do that fight without sort of tweaking agility. So, gonna head out. Gonna try some of the other fights. Probably
Which is good for Stoney. Like,
yes, this is correct.
it gets him. Well, correct is hard to analyze from
doors,
his perspective. Yeah, it's a door. This is a really good door. I really like this one.
what's it from?
No idea.
Me neither.
Oh, chat says it's from Shadowgate. No idea what that game is. I'm looking it up. Shadowgate is a point-and-click adventure game from 1987.
Perfect. Goodbye, Tella. Jazer nerfed with a succubus. Interesting. Must not have silk webs? Interesting. Okay, so this fight's already gone a little sideways for Jazer because Tella's doing Tella things. But I don't think. Okay, so that's a big axe. 2k damage from Sid. I think that means he's still cursed.
Yeah, he's still cursed. This is a sketchy way to set this up, I think.
It might be worth asking if Jazer knows or is comfortable with like berserk glitching off like a weapon off a character.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a lot easier when it's like you can just Avenger, because you never have to deal with like what happens if your character's turn comes back around, right? Okay, does this crystal... Okay, does it nerf?
Oh, maybe?
Oh, is that phase tip?
Oh yeah, it was a fake shake.
All right, but now here's an actual shake. This should... I think this nerfs. Stoney thinking really hard about whether to block us in the CPU fight, and resets out. Yeah, it's probably the right play. I mean, it is the right play, but
just contextually, it's right. Oh, where's he go? Oh, he
check Pinktail.
Pinktail and probably the Demist because look, he doesn't have the rat tail.
Yeah. Stoney never went back.
Oh, this could send him on an adventure. Oh, we're in Medio.
We're in rocks. Cecil's probably got nice dodge edge.
Yep,
And that's it. That's GG.
GG's to Jazer.
Wow.
This creates a very interesting scenario for the standings. It all depends on how Narrowcat does tonight against Pankraz.
Yep. I think that race starts in, what, 40 minutes?
Yeah, it should be about 40 minutes.
Boy, if Narrowcat pulls out the victory, then we'll have a nice big tiebreaker. By the way, the pink tail turned into the sand ruby.
I think if Narrowcat wins, there isn't a tiebreaker.
Oh, true. If Narrowcat
there's
wins,
a 4-way tie.
Yeah. Yes. So if Narrowcat wins, or heaven forbid ties, gets a point.
The tie would be hilarious.
The tie would be hilarious. That'd be a great way to end up in the 8th seed. But if Narrowcat gets
actually
gets
the tie
any points, puts it into puts Narrowcat's team into the 8th spot. Otherwise, we do have a 4-way tiebreak, which I think we were talking about before is going to be somehow random because all the teams are basically tied through all the tiebreakers.
Yeah, they're tied through all the tiebreakers, and we put in the rules that if a team is tied through all the tiebreakers, we determine it randomly. And it's not going to be that way next time, I swear. And we are joined by, I assume, Jazer. GG's. Well run.
Thank you. Yeah, that was annoying.
How did you feel about the Valvalis situation at the start of the seed?
It was mostly out of my control that I wiped, but it still felt bad that I rolled low that many times with the Earth Hammer, Bandana, Crystal Ring, but yeah.
So if it felt bad that you wiped, did you feel behind after that, or did you think Stoney probably also wiped?
I don't know if I thought he wiped. I don't know, that was a pretty big time commitment. I probably should have felt behind, but I felt like something was going to go wrong for him, and that was my one thing. That's fine. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. So we also noticed you did not do the 64 floor glitch. Your teammates in chat were mentioning that you would do that under specific scenarios. I assume that you did not have the right scenario for it this seed.
That maybe was Stoney's teammates. I just have not done the 64 door glitch at all. I haven't learned it. Maybe I need to do a training montage over the break and learn it. I don't know.
Fair enough. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah. When I saw that CPU, I knew if the answer was behind 64 door glitch, I was cooked. Because I know Stoney does do it sometimes. I don't think he usually does it on a hook route. I think hook routes usually avoids it. But yeah.
So had you done a bunch of had you done research on Stoney to sort of consider what sort of meta plays you may or may not make?
I watched him some, and just people told me that he'd messed up the placement of vehicles on hook routes before, and it bit him, and so I think he stopped trying there.
Yeah, fair enough. So how did you feel about the Gigantax Forge?
Gigantax was nice. I wish I had a way to berserk him. It would have been nice if I could have found some Bacchus wine. I thought about doing Mad Ogres, but I have to go. Just, yeah.
Right, you could have stolen Bacchus wines. That makes sense. Bacchus wines were for sale. If our tracker or Scar remembers where they were, that would be helpful. I want to say they might have been on the moon, but maybe that's incorrect.
I checked the moon. They must have been non-gated shop. TS Wildish strikes.
Yeah, you can find Bacchus in a whole bunch more places than you normally can. That
Yeah.
sort of gives you some early game power, but also forces you to shop a bit more.
Yeah, I try to not shop very much in general. I don't know.
Shopping sucks, right?
Yeah, you don't want to do it.
So how did you? Okay, so your Zeromus fight pretty okay. Excal Cecil's going to do a lot of work. Were you concerned at any point?
During the fight or before the fight?
Both, either.
Before the fight, I wanted to get Tella as much HP as possible so he could survive a nerfed Big Bang, hopefully. And then he just kept getting counter nuked every time. So that was annoying.
Board AI strikes again.
But I had enough damage. I thought about trying to get fancy and doing Cecil after Tella and taking the Excal off and darting it, but I was worried I was going to get Black Hold, and then I would be without an Excal Cecil. So I didn't do it.
And like technically you probably could swap the Gigantax off Sid and then Zerk Cecil with a Gigantax, but like I'm not sure you want to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty similar damage to an Excal, I think. I don't think there's a big difference between the two.
It turns out there's like the Gigantax is a little bit stronger, but has an accuracy issue. So in the center slot at your levels wouldn't have been an issue, but yeah.
I think just at your levels it wouldn't have been an issue. You get what, 1% accuracy bonus per 2 levels?
It's
the extra
something like
multiplier
that, yeah.
makes up for it. Or the extra damage makes up for it. I think Gigantax is 100% outright better than the Excal.
But of course, Sid can't use the Gigantax, so that I don't know. It worked out. You're through the fight with the victory. So you've gone 4-0 in the tournament, Jazer. And your team went 11-1 over the 4 weeks. You are the number 1 seeds going into the bracket. How does that feel? What sort of pressure do you or do you not feel?
It's weird, right? So I specifically entered as a solo entrant to try and not have much of a pressure situation, figuring I'd be on a team that would get our butts kicked. And that didn't happen. So all 3 of us were solo entrants. It's just interesting to me that happened, but it's fun. First tournament going into brackets. First seed it'll be interesting. I don't think we're favorites. I think other teams should still be favored over us, but it's been fun.
Yeah, that's what we'd like to hear. The point of the tournament is to have fun, and so if you're having fun, then that's success, at least by my bucks. For whatever that means from a former event team member. I guess. Would you be interested in the universe deciding that this should be the rematch after the break week?
Me and Stoney?
I mean, like, if the match tonight, like the one after this one, goes a certain way, we might end up with a 4-way tiebreak, and then it could be you and Stoney again.
Yeah, it would be good. When I ran all of his seeds he did before. He beat me 2 times, but I had a faster average time. I think it really just comes down to routing. I'm guessing I routed different than he did, and that made the difference. Or he just hit some roadblock that I managed to get through.
I hit a roadblock. He hit a roadblock on the hook route. Didn't buy the Bahamut and didn't set up reflex strats for the elements, so took a wipe there, and then his successful attempt was much slower than yours.
Interesting.
Yeah, neither of you did reflex strats for the elements fight, instead choosing to zerk up your Cecils. Was that just just because like Cecil's going to push 1k damage anyway? Or did you forget that, like, you know, the element spot until Valvala sort of resists holy damage?
Oh, I knew she resisted it, or they resisted it. I really just wanted to use Bahamut.
Yeah,
I didn't,
that's fair.
and so I might as well Zerg Cecil at that point. I was hoping to get the skip anyways. I'm guessing you saw my Ice 3 came just one turn too late. But
Yeah, sometimes that just happens. Like Cecil, especially RA1 Cecil Zergt is gonna push a little bit more damage than you might otherwise expect.
Yeah, I think for your attempt, if you had not Zerked Cecil, the Bahamut into Ice 3 would have killed. The Bahamut would have pushed into Ruby, and the Ice 3 would have killed Ruby.
Yeah, the Ice 3 is gonna do, even from Tella, gonna do pretty close to quad 9s.
yeah, he was
I think with a
1800
Stardust Run,
heal.
it does.
I didn't have a Stardust on him. I think I just had Lilith.
Okay, it's probably good enough though.
Yeah, you only need, I think, at that spot like 13, 14k. Anyway, any last thoughts about the Siege Jazer?
I'm glad that CPU wasn't required. That would have been an absolute
Right?
nightmare. I'm glad that I didn't have to do all of the bottom of the moon. I had like an Ether 1 and an Ether 2 as far as MP restoratives were concerned.
And Succubus, don't forget those.
Yeah, I bought Succubuses explicitly for that if I had to, I could still Cecil or Edge's MP so that I could keep Zerking. That Demist was a little bit ugly too. But
Yeah, but you also missed the DKC at Crystal Sword Altar. Yeah, no.
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I almost never go there before Maza, so
It
that
worked
would
out for you.
definitely be a no.
All right, Scar, any last questions?
No, I think you covered everything.
All right, well, GG's again, Jazer. We look forward to seeing you and your teammates in the bracket phase. I hope you have a nice, good break week that you get. Maybe you do a 64 floor training montage, and we look forward to seeing you afterwards.
Thank you. Thanks for the restream, everybody. Bye.
All right, that was Jazer, our winner of today's match. We now have Stoney, found the Legend Sword, went back and foraged, did a little bit of a grind, and now is in the Zeromus fight. That was a very rude counter nuke target. Poor Rydia.
Oh, I'm of the opposite opinion. That was the best counter nuke target because she isn't really pushing damage right now because you're just doing Trizerg. I don't know. Does she have? I don't know what the HP break. Like I should really memorize HP break point of nuke for Rydia for comms. Does 1600 HP Rydia have nuke?
I think she's close.
Oh yeah, I can just look that up. It's information that's available on the wiki. Is there?
Yes,
still a
it is on the
command in
wiki.
Chat?
All right, does the Ashura work? No gray face? Yes, we're good. Okay.
So at level 50, Rydia is reported to have an average of 1,636 HP, though the earliest level she can have 1,627 HP is level 49.
All right, so Stoney's Rydia probably has nuke, and I think Stoney is hovering over black, waiting to nerf with a nuke, probably. I think that was the face tip. That looked like a face tip to me.
Frankly, I don't know unless I have a controller in my hands and can feel the ATB. It's just too many distractions on commentary.
Fair enough. Sometimes, like in RA1 scenarios, it's fairly easy to tell, but on other other RAs, and if you turn the battle speed down, it's a lot more challenging, I feel. Yeah, okay. There's Nuke. Okay. What? Okay, now I'm confused. I don't know why she went next. Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter. That's the end of the fight. GG, Stoney.
Hey, GG's a Stoney.
Alright, pretty valiant effort. Did a good job of recovering after sort of the hook route shenanigans and the kind of slow overworld. And
joined by
bounced off.
Stoney.
Oh, hello, Stoney. GG's.
GG's. Thank you. GG's, Jazer.
Yeah. So how do you feel about how do you feel about elements at the Rubicon spot?
That was a disaster waiting to happen, and it just didn't set up everything right, and it just I wanted that Tella to get that Ice 3 queued up before Ruby came in, and that didn't happen.
Would you like a piece of advice?
Yes, absolutely. Because
So, with a Tella, you're right thinking with Tella there. So if you have anchoring, and for this exact scenario where you've got a well anchored Tella, what you can do is put a Star Veil on make sure somebody else is going first and that they get a Star Veil up, and then you can reflect fire 3s off of that Star Veil, and you never see Rubicant, because changing from Mylon to Rubicant is part of a counter script, and the reflects don't trigger counter scripts.
It's funny because I've seen it happen numerous times, but I've never actually done it myself. So that was never in the back of my head to do. But it makes complete sense to do something like that, and I feel silly not doing that. Now, whether or not that made the difference in the race, probably not. But I mean, it would have helped get that hook route through a little cleaner.
Yeah, I think you're right that it wasn't the only thing, but it might have helped. For fun, if you watch a vanilla speedrun of FF4 that goes through the elements fight, that's how they beat elements with Fusoya. They reflect fire 3 off a wall.
Okay, that makes complete total sense, especially if giant is required in those vanilla seeds. And I don't ever remember seeing the early days of free enterprise, so it's just not something that lives in the back of my head when I run these.
Yeah, and you also had Excal Cecil, which is like, even though he's hitting a resistance, like a holy resistance on elements, like you're still pushing 1k damage, right? So it's like, does that matter? Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, still not enough. And
Yeah.
I honestly didn't realize that it had a holy resistance. I was wondering why the Excal wasn't doing a lot of damage. And again, another one of those things. The little details that you don't know or don't realize is what kind of can win or lose a race.
Yeah, but you've learned, and now hopefully the next time you see an elements fight, you think twice about having that Excal. Maybe you switch to defense sword.
Yeah, and the defense sword was sitting in there, and I was like, no, I'm just
no,
run with what I got.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so we shouldn't dwell on the things that were a little bit more challenging. We could also enjoy things about some of the other fun things that you had to deal with in the seed, like not Valvalis. Let's not talk about Valvalis. We actually lost your stream briefly early on. Did you go to Valvalis early?
Yeah, I did go to Valvalis early, and I started hitting her with the Earth Hammer that Sid had, and was only doing about 100 damage. And I was like, this is not good. I ended up resetting out of that, and I think I hightailed it to ordeals at that point in time. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that was
apologize
what
for the
Jazer did
drop of
too.
stream. I lost internet for about 10, maybe about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah,
Nothing you can do about that.
exactly. Yeah, that's out of your control probably.
Yeah.
So, so unfortunately, you did lose today's race, which means your team is currently in a four-way tiebreaker or four-way tie for the 8th and final playoff spot. How are the nerves about that?
I mean, I was nervous going into this race pretty much all week. And as everything kind of fell into place and I was watching the results of everything else, and I was like, oh, crap, this is a must win. Now, luckily, yes, like you said, we are tied for that 8th spot with 3 other teams, but their Narrowhead is facing Pancrase. And I am kind of rooting for Pancrase at this point because if anything else, that helps put us in the tiebreaker and maybe a 25% chance of actually making it through to the round of 8. So there's still hope. It's just not as great as it was.
Yep, and sometimes that's what happens. So potentially, maybe you don't go on to the bracket phase. So it might be nice to ask, how have you felt about the tournament so far? Tell us about your experience in this nice little team tournament that we set up.
I love the way that we can get a bunch of people together and work as a team, and just kind of, instead of these one-on-one races that we're constantly used to, the Turian Tango, I love that because it's a pair of people going in with the common goal, and that's what this was here. As far as the ZZA flag set, I'm not the biggest fan of it, just because I seem to last location almost 90% of my seeds. Luckily, I didn't do that today, but I ran into a bunch of walls, and it is what it is.
Yep, that makes sense. I know that feeling. Last location, many things in my time. I guess I have one more question for you. Your menu colors were set up in a very specific orange pattern. Were you intending on doing a 64 floor glitch if the right situation had arose?
I 100% planned on it. I originally told myself I wasn't going to do the glitch if a hook route came about, but I 100% intended to do it this time around because I felt like Jazer's a great runner, and I felt like I might need a one-up and maybe jump in that ribbon room and see if something pays off. It doesn't look like it was going to, but when I went into the hook route, I remembered I misparked the Enterprise, and that would have messed up the glitch. So at that point, I just abandoned that thought. There was only the underground checks left, and those were quick checks. So I don't think I would have saved too much time doing the ribbon room. Now, if it was required and kind of getting through that CPU, I noped out of that real quick. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, Jazer did the same. Like, no one wants to do CPU into Ribbon Room.
No.
Scarcer and I were theorizing like, oh man, like before you raise the well, this would be the time. This would be when you fix your airships, do the 64 floor glitch, because we had already seen the Ribbon Room boss at that point, and it's like, oh man, that could be the thing. And then it turns out the Legend Sword was at the Moss Altar, so like, okay, it wouldn't have mattered, but
Yeah.
it would have been high drama.
Now, I wish the race was the seed I played right before this race, because both Adamant and Legend Sword was in the ribbon room via the the glitch.
No
So
way.
it can happen. It just unfortunately didn't happen during a race when I did the glitch.
Incredible.
But no, it's been really fun.
Very glad
That's good to hear.
Scar, do you have any other questions or any questions for Stoney?
I saw when you got to the lunar dais, you took a long thought about taking Palom. Have you ever entertained the triple red dragon setup for a grind?
I have not entertained it, and my thought process was, yeah, doing the keeping the tello meant I was going to do the gold dragons. I haven't practiced the gold dragon grind or the manip too much, so in this particular case, it wouldn't have been a great option because if I messed it up, then I just put myself that much further behind. So I decided I'd keep the Tella, and I kept the Rydia just because she was essentially my only viable healer. So that's what I went with.
Very, very reasonable. All right. So, any last questions about or questions? Any last thoughts about the seed, Stoney?
Nope, it was a good feed. It wasn't my day. And again, GG's to Jazer for getting through it. And I think it was what, an hour 21. That's a fantastic time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch this race. Pretty good time. So I guess I know some people will disagree, but like cross fingers for the random draw. If the next race goes the way you need it to go.
Yep, I will keep my fingers crossed and just pray to the lunar gods.
All right. Well, GG just again, and we'll potentially see you around in the tournament or afterwards.
Thank you very much, and thank you again for putting together the show, putting together the restream. Appreciate it as always. Y'all put on a heck of a show, so I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night.
All right. I think that's it for us.
Yeah, and looks like there's nobody practicing forfeit for us to raid into, so we're going to be signing off from here. There is another match starting up soon that won't be featured on a restream. Pancraz versus Narrowcat racing the Adamant Cup Experience should be starting in about 10 minutes or so.
And that race, as we've said a couple times, does have standings impact. If Narrowcat wins, then I forget what Narrowcat's team is. I'm sorry. Forked
Narrowcat
Survivor
is
Club.
Forked Survivor Club on a team with the teammates with Garen and Matic.
Yeah. So if Narrowcat pulls out the victory, or ties hilariously, then Forked Survivor Club will pull into the 8th spot. Otherwise, we'll have a nice 4-way tie for that spot. So, Scar, do you know if there is that 4-way tie? How will we find out who wins that tiebreaker?
Well, we're gonna determine it randomly. We're gonna figure out some reasonable random name generation. Put the names in the hat in some manner, and when we've got it figured out, we will announce. Well, like it's the full bracket because we'll know.
Perfect. Is there a bracket like reveal, or is that just happening on the Discord?
We're just gonna post it. we have not scripted like a bracket reveal stream, and also there isn't as much to a bracket reveal stream as there is for like a prospectus. So there's no flag set changes going in. There's no flag set changes going into brackets. The teams do have the option to change their specialties. I don't know if anybody's planning on that because we haven't been told of anything. But they have the whole break week to mull over if each teammate is going to be playing the same flag set going into the bracket.
All right, sounds good. So you heard it here, folks, from one of our event team members. If you want to find out what's happening and what the bracket's going to look like, please have a look on our Discord. You can find the link in chat, probably. There it is. So I guess with that, I think we're going to sign off. I've been Safe Marshall with Scarcerer, and Rex Soul was tracking, thanks to Rex Soul. And Glue, Drinks Glue, or Senior Glue, gave us a really nice restream. Hopefully enjoying some of the music. Shame we didn't get music this seed, but them's the breaks. Aside from, I think that's everything for us. So take care, folks, and we'll see you next week for the start of the bracket phase of the All Forked Cup. Take care.
Have a night.